Airlines are quietly preparing for chaos, warns a former TSA director. The new regulations that started May 7th have already caught many travelers completely unprepared. It's happening right now. Travelers standing at gates, watching their vacations take off without them, all because of documents they didn't know they needed. Since May 7th, 2025, millions of travelers have been facing the most radical changes to flying in decades. From the now mandatory real IDs to revolutionary refund rules and shocking baggage policy changes, the entire air travel landscape has transformed virtually overnight. While many passengers are facing delays, denials, and financial losses, insiders know these changes actually create unprecedented opportunities to save hundreds if you know the loopholes. But here's the most alarming part. There's a new 40-hour pre-flight requirement that almost no one is talking about, and missing it means automatic cancellation with zero compensation. Stay tuned for point 4, where we'll reveal exactly how to protect yourself from this hidden travel trap. Let's start with the most urgent change that could literally stop you at the airport gate. Change number 1. The real ID deadline is here. After multiple extensions since 2007, the Real ID Act finally took effect May 7, 2025. This isn't a minor policy update, it's a complete overhaul of acceptable identification for domestic air travel. Your standard driver's license, the one sitting in your wallet right now, completely useless at TSA checkpoints unless it has the Real ID star marker in the upper corner. Department of Homeland Security data shows a staggering 43% of Americans still don't have a Real ID-compliant license. That's over 100 million travelers potentially stranded at security. What makes this particularly dangerous is there's no grace period. Unlike previous rollouts, TSA officials confirm zero exceptions will be made now that the deadline has hit. Even if you've flown with your current license for decades, you'll be denied boarding without the proper star-marked ID. The process to obtain one requires an in-person DMV visit with specific documentation, proof of identity, passport or birth certificate, social security number verification, and 2 proofs of residence. Average processing time? 2-3 weeks, but some states are reporting 6-8 week backlogs as people rush to comply with the now active requirement. Now that you know how to actually get on your flight, let's look at the international travel changes that could prevent you from even entering your destination country. Change number 2. Double authorization trap. Summer 2025 introduces an unprecedented double barrier for American travelers heading to Europe. As of January 8, 2025, the UK requires all US visitors to obtain an electronic travel authorization (ETAA) before arrival. Even if you're just connecting through Heathrow or have visited Britain dozens of times before, the system isn't just a formality. Applications must be submitted at least 3 working days before travel, cost approximately $13.00, and require biometric data. Border officials have already denied entry to thousands of travelers who arrived unprepared during the initial rollout. But the true complication starts in May 2025, when the European Union's new European Travel Information and Authorization System, ETAA, simultaneously launches. This separate system requires additional pre-approval for Americans visiting 30 European countries, even if you've already secured the UK's ETA. Travel industry experts warn that these stacked requirements create a documentation minefield for summer travelers. The systems don't communicate with each other, meaning separate applications, timelines, and fees are necessary. Even more concerning, both systems scrutinize travel history, online behavior, and security profiles, with algorithms making initial screening decisions. With documentation sorted, let's uncover the airline refund revolution that could put hundreds back in your pocket this summer. Change number 3. Automatic refund overhaul. 2025 marks the first peak travel season where airlines must comply with the Department of Transportation's groundbreaking automatic refund rule, and it completely reshapes your rights as a passenger. Under the new regulations, airlines can no longer ghost you when things go wrong. Refunds now trigger automatically without passengers having to jump through hoops, as Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg put it. The rule clearly defines significant delay as 3+ hours for domestic flights and 6+ hours for international flights. What's revolutionary is how the system works. Airlines must process refunds within 7 business days for credit card purchases. even for weather disruptions that were previously excluded from compensation. The days of accepting vouchers with hidden restrictions are over. Cash refunds are now mandatory unless you explicitly choose an alternative. But the reform goes further. If your checked bag isn't delivered within 12 hours of a domestic flight's arrival, or 15 to 30 hours internationally, you're entitled to a full refund of your baggage fee. Similarly, if you pay for Wi-Fi or seat selection that doesn't work, the airline must refund those fees automatically. The financial impact is significant. Industry analysts estimate passengers will reclaim over $600 million annually. Speaking of baggage, airline carry-on policies are changing dramatically this summer, and it could cost you if you don't prepare. Change number 4, the Great Baggage Crackdown. Summer 2025 introduces the most dramatic overhaul of airline baggage policies in years, with carriers implementing what industry insiders call the Great Baggage Squeeze. Basic economy tickets are bearing the brunt of these changes, with several major airlines eliminating carry-on privileges entirely for their lowest fare class. Air Canada led the charge in January, restricting basic economy passengers to just one personal item, no overhead bin access whatsoever. Delta, United, and American have followed with similar policies, creating a cascading effect across the industry. Any additional bags must be checked for fees ranging from $35.00 to $75 per bag. Even standard baggage dimensions are shrinking. While the traditional 22 by 14 by 9 inch carry-on standard has remained stable for years, airlines like Southwest have reduced their size allowances by approximately 15% for summer 2025 flights. Weight restrictions are tightening too, with international carriers enforcing strict 15-pound limits on carry-ons, down from the previous 22-pound standard. Perhaps most concerning is the new Measurement Enforcement Initiative. Major airports have installed baggage sizers at security checkpoints, not just at gates, meaning non-compliant bags are caught earlier with fewer options for passengers. TSA representatives confirm they're working with airlines to enforce these restrictions as part of security procedures. Finally, let's explore the exciting new flight routes that could transform your summer travel possibilities. Change number 5, Flight Map Transformation. Summer 2025 brings an unprecedented expansion of flight routes and aircraft options, creating extraordinary new opportunities for travelers. Delta Airlines alone is launching its most ambitious transatlantic schedule ever, with 700 weekly flights to 33 European destinations, including first-ever direct routes to Sicily, Naples, and other previously hard-to-reach Mediterranean gems. JetBlue is dramatically expanding its European footprint with new Boston to Edinburgh and Boston to Madrid routes starting May 22, making these premium destinations accessible at typically lower JetBlue prices. United's groundbreaking direct flights to Greenland beginning June 14 open up one of the world's last tourism frontiers. These expansions coincide with the game-changing introduction of the A321XLR aircraft, which airlines like Aer Lingus are deploying to launch previously impossible routes, such as direct Dublin to Nashville service. The extended-range narrow-body jets bring business-class comfort to smaller markets, eliminating the need for connections through major hubs. What does this mean for travelers? Previously multi-stop journeys to bucket list destinations are becoming direct flights, while competition on newly overlapping routes is driving summer fares down by an average of 15% on select corridors. Industry analysts predict this route revolution represents the most significant redrawing of the global air travel map since the introduction of the Boeing 707 Dreamliner, with particularly strong implications for travelers seeking unique summer destinations beyond the typical tourist circuits. So now you're equipped with the inside track on summer 2025's biggest travel changes. From real ID requirements to automatic refunds, baggage restrictions to exciting new routes, staying ahead of these shifts could make or break your vacation plans. But we want to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these changes firsthand? Perhaps you've already navigated the new UK authorization system or received an automatic refund under the new DOT rules. Drop your travel stories, questions, or tips in the comments below. Your experience might save fellow travelers from a vacation disaster. And if you found this information valuable, hit that subscribe button for updates on travel changes that could affect your next trip. We're tracking airline policy shifts, airport renovations, and border requirement updates so you don't have to. Remember, in today's rapidly evolving travel landscape, the prepared passenger always has the advantage. Safe travels.